Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not just going to listen to a song, we're going to perform surgery on it. We are taking a deep dive into the whole narrative of Drake's breakup track, You Broke My Heart, to really see how he builds this super modern story of love, loss, and retaliation, pretty much line by line. Okay, so let's just jump right in. The wild thing about this track is how it starts. There's no beat, no big intro hook, nope, we're just dropped right into a conversation. It's Drake and Morgan Wallen, and it really sounds like any two friends just talking after a split. And that line right there, I'm kind of glad she gone, that's not a polished lyric. It feels like a real off-the-cuff confession, doesn't it? It just sets this incredibly real, kind of raw tone for everything that's about to happen. And that little moment, right there, that's the foundation for the entire song. Which brings us to part one. The casual debrief. This is all about how he sets the whole scene before a single note of music even plays. What's so genius about this opening is that it makes us, the listeners, feel like we're eavesdropping on a private moment. It's vulnerable, it's super relatable, and it completely grounds the high drama that's about to unfold. You know, by starting so small and so personal, it makes the song's eventual explosion of anger and bravado feel that much more powerful. So, from that quiet conversation, the song just builds and builds into a full-blown accusation. And that brings us to part two, the heartbreak accusation. This is where Drake really reveals the core wound he's dealing with. I mean, look at this. There's no poetry here, no fancy metaphors. It's just a blunt, repetitive statement of fact from his point of view. He just drills it in, making sure there is absolutely zero ambiguity about who he sees as the villain in this story. His pain isn't just a theme, it is the headline. Now, this number on the screen, 4, it might seem kind of random, but it's such a brilliant narrative tool. Drake sings 4 months, not a long time, and by using that specific number, he makes that abstract pain of betrayal feel concrete. It feels measurable, and somehow that makes it even more cutting. And this is where the song gets so deeply rooted in our digital age. The evidence he lists isn't whispered rumors. It's screenshots, voice notes, and Instagram dirt. I mean, these are the modern receipts of a breakup, right? It makes his very specific story feel universal to anyone who's navigated a relationship in the 21st century. But then, just when you think you know where the song is headed, it makes a hard pivot. We move from all that vulnerability into this powerful reassertion of dominance. And this is part 3. The narrative shift from pain to power. And right here, you can see the two sides of that conflict just laid bare. On one side, you have the sad boy persona, the man admitting he was down bad, had feelings he just couldn't shake. But then, in the same breath, the top boy emerges. He's the global superstar who says, you can't just talk to me like anybody, and who has the power to put careers on shelves. The entire song really lives in this tension between the man who was hurt and the icon who just can't afford to look weak. So that internal conflict, it just explodes outward, and it reaches its absolute peak. This section is all about the cathartic climax, where Drake transforms his personal pain into this huge, collective, public declaration. It basically becomes a breakup anthem. This is the moment the song just breaks the fourth wall. He's not just telling us his story anymore, he's inviting us into it. This command, it turns the passive listener into an active participant. It's a call to arms for anyone who's ever been hurt, and it makes his personal beef feel like this big shared experience. And it's not just a simple chant, it is so strategically built. First, he declares it himself. Then, he calls on the whole crowd. Next, he adds this layer of menace by threatening to drop a name, which makes it clear this is still very, very personal. And finally, through sheer repetition, it becomes this unbreakable mantra, just a powerful loop of collective anger. But the song doesn't end with that collective release. After the crowd screams along with him, the focus narrows right back down. The anger becomes more personal, more surgical, and it's designed to land the final, killing blow. And this is the line he leaves us with. It's the final word, and it's not about heartbreak anymore. It's about status. This is a calculated, demeaning insult designed to completely reclaim his dominance. It's a total knockout punch. This is how he chooses to end his story. Not with sadness or reflection, but with a series of cutting remarks. It's a strategy to completely erase any lingering vulnerability we might have seen at the beginning and leave absolutely no doubt about who came out on top. It's a note of absolute aggressive finality. So what this all shows us is how a 3-minute track can be a meticulously crafted 5-act play. It moves from this quiet confession to a public anthem, and finally to personal vengeance. But it leaves us with a lingering question, doesn't it? Are we witnessing a raw, authentic moment of catharsis? Or is this just a carefully constructed performance for the next chapter in Drake's ongoing public saga? The answer, well, it probably lies somewhere in between.